Okay, so we're sorry for that break and for the delay. We're starting right away. Hello, are we there? Hello? Hi, Faith. Um,
Hi, I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, that has been rectified. We actually had some issues streaming live, so can we start right away? Okay. Once again, good evening, everyone, and good evening to our farm. Sorry for the delays, and our sincere apologies. I hope it's granted.
There's no problem. So
All right, sir. Okay, so
yes, I'm with you. Go ahead,
Madam
please.
Lester, can you share your screen now? Hello. Okay, so while we expect the screen to come up, we've actually been having we had been on the move to get men involved to support their wives and to end rape, intimate partner violence, sexual abuse, yeah, and the rest of them. So we are really glad to have you on the call and to discuss about one of the major issues that has been leading to some of these issues of child marriage and rape.
All right.
So yeah, it is quite clear that the rate of intimate partner violence is really on a high side now, and most of them are not even recognized or even talked about. That is because quite a number of women hide some of those things. They keep them to themselves, even if it's happened. They feel like I should just keep quiet, let it just be the way it is. I believe one day the man will change, that mentality of I can change this man later, and then it continues, without without stop. And then it has been I will really tell you that there has been a strong evidence to show that this has been like a lot of doing this women more harm than good. Because imagine a woman that maybe is into a relationship or maybe is pregnant. Let's use that's to describe this. A woman who is pregnant and then having your partner beat you even at that stage, there's quite a lot of things that are going to happen. Sometimes they end up losing those kids or having
miscarriage.
Exactly. No, and then having some other trauma, stigmas on them. That this thing lasting. It takes time and maybe God's intervention for them to come out of those kind of issues. So on today's episode, we are so excited to have on the discussion. I think Madam has shared the screen now. Okay, so our viewers out there, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Bella by Choice Facebook live chats. Say this Bella by Choice Facebook party people have been here to be giving you the right information. We don't dig grounds, they tell you better things where you're supposed to know as a woman and things will help you keep your relationships to grow and as in you enjoy it without having to feel pain or something. So on today's episode, we want to discuss about sexual intimate partner violence and on pregnancy. And I believe you women out there, you are all open to give your own, drop your comments. If you have any question, you let us know. And your questions are really valid. Your say in this matter is very important. So today's topic, we are honored to have an amazing, a very great man here. Let's use that. We are opportunity to have a man actually to speak on this topic. Majorly, it's always women talk. But today we have a man to speak on this particular topic. I believe as a man, you would really do justice to this. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what I don't know, Esther, can you move to the next slide, please? Okay, so as we move on with the discussion, we would like to say a very big thank you to our amazing partners for their wonderful support. They have been there for us. They have been our backbones. Without them, I'm not sure say Belle by Choice will exist now, but because of them, it is existing. So we are saying a very big thank you to African Women Development Fund, Global Fund for Women, Women First Digital, Moment for Women Alliance, DKT International Nigeria, Cross River State Ministry of Health, UNFPA, Cross River State Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Thank you all for your support. And we look forward to having more of you pushing us as we continue. Okay, so we want to also say a very big thank you to amazing speaker for coming on the call, Fam Ogbonna Lawrence. I hope I'm pronouncing your name well.
Yes, sir. Yes, you did.
Okay, so our farm is a pharmacist with over 3 years of experience in the healthcare industry. As a pharmacist, Lawrence has a wealth of experience in both clinical and administrative roles. He holds a Bachelor of Pharmacy degree from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, yes, and has worked in a variety of settings, including hospitals and community pharmacies. Over the course of his career, he has developed a deep understanding of pharmacotherapy, drug interactions, and efficient patient care. So he currently works with an NGO called, sorry, sir, Excellent Community Education Welfare Stream.
Okay, that's called EQs.
Yeah, EQs, yeah. Well done, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for honoring the call. Okay, so we'll be moving straight to discussion. Before we move to that, so we already know what is on ground. Men give belle by choice. And woman, you to carry belle by choice. So belle by choice, not be by force. And you to man, not give your woman belle by force. Make it be willingly. Let her give her consent because it is her right. Yes. Okay, so we're still on the move on this campaign, and then we believe that every one of us out there will join the move because we really need to end rape. We really need to bring an end to child marriage. We really need to bring an end to sexual intimate partner violence, which is a reason for this meeting today. That's one of our discussion for today. And then improve access to belle by choice commodities, and then to also end stigma against women and girls' uptake of contraception and family planning.
Okay.
This is really important to women and men. It is important. Let's know our role to play in this. Okay, so I don't know if my co-host is ready for it. Faith, are you there?
Hi, good evening. Am I audible?
Hello, Faith, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
We are struggling to hear you, Faith. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Oh,
can actually hear you.
all right.
All
Okay,
right,
so
thank you
going
so much.
straight to today's discussion. What we have here is how prevalent are intimate partner violence and unintended pregnancy among women and adolescent girls, and how can we address it? Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for having me on the program this evening.
Thank you,
Like
sir.
she has introduced, my name is Pharmacist Lawrence Obonna. Okay, this initiative is a very good one. I must commend the organizers, the people funding the program. People are doing a very great job. I must say, this is one of the things we look out for. We want programs like this to come on board because it is one of the approaches we need to take to actually stop these cases of unwanted pregnancy. Though I have to say something, most time it's not actually unwanted because most times somehow there's usually consent. But let's just assume that it's actually unwanted. But then this program is okay, like it's very good. We are giving you people 100%
Yeah, okay,
because it's one
sir.
of
Please,
the
sorry, as we continue, can you please open your camera, please? We'd like to see
okay.
that handsome face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I be
Wow.
seen?
Yeah, sure we can. Right on.
Well, I need to see if I'm positioned well.
Sure you are. You are.
All right. Okay. Like I was saying, first of all, I want to say a very big thank you for having me in the program. Apologies that we are working from home, not in the office today. So, like I said, the Bella by Choice program is one of the things we are all looking out for to come up because it's going to help and end all these cases of intimate partners violence, unwanted pregnancy, early uh, uh, child becoming pregnant, early child marriage, and all of that. Because we need to create awareness so that those in the timid areas that don't really have information, or let's just say they are not really informed because probably of their educational background or anything, so they can be able to know that it's not even okay for them to maybe start having pregnancy at some stage. Okay, let me come in. We know in the reproductive life of there are times you with your uterus, you might have rupture of the uterus, leading to one problem or the other. So programs like this, we educate the listener so that they will know that they are actually right times for everything. Now, talking about how prevalent this intimate partners violence and unwanted pregnancies among women and girls are. Now, a research was done by the WHO, that's World Health. Now they are trying to measure or to check how prevalent this case is. Of course, it's not done in a particular region. It cut across that, in this intimate partners violence. Now, we can have cases where someone is being abused physically. Then we can have a case where someone is abused maybe emotionally, because all of them are supposed to be included. Then we can have a case where someone is abused sexually. So now there's a percentage of of persons. Let's just say girls, because most of the time the girls are usually the one that is being oppressed. So we have a report, we have a survey that was done where 13 to 61% of the girls that are involved in the survey reported that they have been abused physically, but that means they've been violated physically in their relationship with their partners. Now, this physical violence, like I said, has to do with slapping, beating, maybe hitting. When you use force, belt, cane, whatever it is to abuse or violate the rights of your partner that you are intimately involved in a relationship. So we have a case of 61%, up to 61%. You can see how high it's got to. So now 6 to 59 persons reported that they were abused or violated sexually. That means these persons, they didn't get the consent before having sex with them. And of course, when consent was not given, it leads to probably unwanted pregnancies, physical injuries, and probably other things like infections, trauma, depression, and the rest of them. So lastly, a percentage of 75%, up to 75% reported that they were experiencing emotional abuse in their intimate relationship. So this has to show us that it's actually highly prevalent. So our role now is to bring it up and then encourage the young ones, enlighten them, and orient them on the current trends that they are actually supposed to speak up. Most of them, they don't speak up even when they are being abused. You hear them saying, if a man know they beat you for your marriage, or they cheat on you, that means that marriage no go work, something like that. But it doesn't have to be that way. Hey, some of them used to, like, they already had the notion that a man have to beat them for them to feel as the head of the family, but that's not okay. So I have to say that with these statistics I just put up here, it is actually prevalent and something has to be done. And thank you guys for bringing up this program. And I'm very sure as people get oriented and enlightened, they will be able to know that all of those practices are not okay and then act rightly. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So how does this prevent unintended pregnancies?
I want to get the question right.
Yeah, how does intimate partner violence and unwanted pregnancy, how can it be prevented?
Okay. Of course, like I was just saying, the point I mentioned last is, let's just say it can be linked to this. The very first thing that we have to do is sensitization. That means programs have to be put up probably by the state government or federal government, NGOs, or whoever they are. They should go to places where these people that we can easily get them. Let me give you an instance. In the rural areas, remember, in our NGO, we are also going to the rural areas to fetch certain persons that fall into our category of people that we're looking for. Now, we'll come to realize that there are so many persons in these areas that does not know that it is not right for a man to abuse a lady, or maybe to do anything to a lady without her right. So one of the things is to orient, like orientation of the girl child, because most of the time this abuse is mainly on the oppressed. The oppressed now is the ladies, the young girls, or just the female gender. Like I was saying, we have the oppressor and the oppressed. Because when you talk about violence, that means one person is inflicting violence on the other. So now the oppressed is usually the ladies or the female gender. So the first thing that is supposed to be done is to carry out orientation exercise. Let them know that certain things being done to them by the male gender is not okay. So even if you can't reach them, you can use the media. So the media advocacy and then campaigns should be put up to raise awareness. Activities like this, if a man beats you at home, or if you don't want to have any sexual contact with your husband at a particular period, it's your right to say no. But then there are places where you cannot say no. Once your husband says he wants to meet with you, you must consent. But that is what they told them in that area. But that is not right. Okay, let's take for instance, a lady that is passing through her menstrual period, or like the cycle. There are periods in time where the hormonal level is not normal. Now, this lady is passing through maybe high body temperature, pains in the mammary gland, and then so many things going on in her body. Everything is just disorganized. Now she have to at least hold herself and be okay. Now someone is telling her to come, let's make love and all of that. So she not consenting at that point. The man not understanding her will now make him to violate her rights. So we need to put up media campaigns, advocacy programs to raise awareness and tell these women. And then there should also be empowered. That's another point I'm bringing up. Empowering them means you can fund them, you can set up programs when you employ them to work, because a lady that a man provides all the money she needs to survive, the man can easily take advantage of violate her rights anytime he wants. I think it's as simple as that. But a lady that has something that she's doing and then bringing something to the table will definitely have something to say at some point in time if she doesn't want something that the husband is asking for. So empowering them is one of the best things we can do. Then we can set up school programs where let's just assume that the mothers or the ones married, let's just say they are out of the reach again. Like there's nothing they can do because we can't come and start encouraging divorce. Then we can work with the secondary schools, both the ones that are single girls or mixed. We talk to these people, tell them these are things that should be done, these are things that are not supposed to be done. So all the school programs, campaign that the students are enlightened should be put up. Then we also put up response system whereby women that cry for help, because definitely there are people crying for help, but no help is coming. So a service unit, probably in the government or an NGO, should be set up whereby these people should be able to, their cry should be heard. There are places where a lady they will maybe attend to have her raped, and then she will cry. Nobody will come to her aid. So with all of this, unwanted pregnancy and then intimate partners violence can be brought to a minimum. There are many points, but these are just the few ones. You empower them. You go to where there are churches, schools, markets, and so many places. Set up campaigns and advocacy program whereby these people are enlightened and told their rights, because some of them don't really know their right because their locality or where they are raised up from has it that man is the head of the family, you do whatever he says. But some of the times what the man is saying is against what the woman can be able to handle at that point. So objecting will not lead to the man violating you, probably physically, sexually, or emotionally. So thank you very much. I have to stop here because there are so many things to be said. I'm actually angry because I'm not happy. I'm seeing people go through all of this. So anything that is going to cost us to come up with this thing, we can go ahead to make sure that
Excellent.
these people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. I really love
Right.
the fact that you talked about empowering them, and then also the
Yes.
fact that you can reach out to them in schools. I believe, just as you said, that if they are enlightened about their rights, right from when they are young, they won't grow up with the mentality of if he doesn't beat me, he doesn't love me. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so our
Thank
next
you.
question now is, what are the outcomes or effects of intimate partner violence and unwanted pregnancy? What are the outcomes? How does it affect these women and girls?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. This question is very important because if you tell a lady what something that is being done to her would do to her system, I think most times she will be able to act rightly. So I'm going to start with the physical injuries. Now, most of these ladies who have cases of people coming to take post-exposure prophylaxis, that's drugs given to people that probably were raped or forced to have sex with them. I have to be saying this thing, sorry if I'm using the vulgar words, but we have to say them. Now, the physical injuries is number one, because you are trying to have intimacy with someone and the person is not consenting. So, and you want to achieve your aim. So at the end of the day, you might end up beating the person up, having some injuries inflicted on the person, probably cuts in the reproductive organs, breakage in the blood vessels supplying these glands. Now, that is the first one, physical injuries, whereby you beat, you cut, or harm them in their physical body. Now, the most important one is now the sexual and reproductive health. So one of the consequences or outcome of this intimate partners violence is that the first one is that there's possibility of passing a sexually transmitted infection, which most times will link with urinary tract infection. Now, these two go hand in hand, but they are not the same. So that is number one, because we don't know the person coming to force themselves sexually on someone. You don't expect this person to come and start maybe putting on protection or taking all the normal protocols to prevent being infected. And most times we don't really know, because people that do this type of thing, let me give an instance. If it's a husband, now husbands that are capable of doing this to their partners, these people are capable of having multiple sex partners. So we usually have them as those class of people that are carrying numerous infections in their system. So they are going to transmit this infection to them. Now, this violence on this person can cause any of them, maybe if they are pregnant, they can end up having miscarriage. Now, a miscarriage caused by a trauma. Trauma is when you hit someone or you fall. Now you're hitting someone that is pregnant. Miscarriage caused by that can cause a permanent damage to the uterus. That is another important part. Then sometimes the baby in the womb might have some injury. You see people giving birth to children that doesn't have one hand, that the ear is bad, the eyes is bad, the legs are broken. Some of the time they come out, they are not speaking, they come out, they are not seeing. These are one of the causes, because when you are pregnant, there are some microorganisms that are not supposed to come into your system because they are harmful to the baby. So some of them, which are gotten through these violence acts, can end up jeopardizing the life of this baby. You gave birth to stillbirth, baby not alive again, baby not seen, and all of that. Now, you can also have, maybe if the person is not pregnant, you can end up having unwanted pregnancies. So these are the outcomes. Then in terms of sexual and reproductive health. Of course, we'll have to mention some of the infections that can come in. We have cases of HIV, which is the most important one, because so many other ones can actually be treated and the person will be fine. But cases of HIV, hepatitis type B, maybe A and C can come in now. Gonorrhea, syphilis, staphylococcus, chlamydia, candida, yeast, like the list is just so much. So someone that does this type of act on a lady, we assume that this person have so many people they are meeting. So they are capable of carrying any of these, if not more than. So the person that is experiencing this violence is capable of coming down with some of this. Then you have a case of depression, because someone that is being that is experiencing violence in their intimate relationship with a partner will definitely have to go into depression, because you are doing what they don't want always to them. So they end up probably having suicide tendencies. Some of the times, another one is that these people, they end up killing these people. That's when you talk about homicide. So homicide is another one, another consequence of intimate partner violence. And of course, the mental health of these oppressed will not come in, where they're having thoughts of suicide, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem. You can name them. There are so many. So in summary, the consequences of intimate partners violence, you can have the physical violence where you beat up this person and the person is having bleeding, blood coming out, broken bones, internal organs being damaged, because you can hit someone with belt and you break one of the organs inside. Then that one will now be affected. Some people hit their partners with rod. So all this inflicts injuries on these persons. Now you talk about the reproductive life where you can get the person pregnant out against their wish. For people that are already pregnant, the violence can make them to have miscarriage, their babies in the womb having problems because of the violence. Now, transmitting sexually transmitted infections to these persons or urinary tract infection to this person, which can harm the baby in their womb or jeopardize their reproductive life. Remember, we said if you don't treat infection, at some point it might end up stopping you from becoming potent. Then this person's mental health can also be affected, where they have thoughts of suicide. And lastly, you have cases of homicide where the oppressor ends up killing these persons that they are being oppressing. So these are just a few consequences that can come as a result of intimate partners violence. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you as well. You really listed out all the essential points. Very worthy of you. Thank you so much. And then you explained as well. Thank you. I feel like one of the first symptoms that's seen in this kind of situations are usually depression. The lady just loses taste for life and becomes sad and all of that.
Yeah.
Very good one, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, our next question now is, what factors contribute to and increase the risk of intimate partner violence and unwanted pregnancies? What can we call the risk factors? What what can make a lady more prone, right, to such a risk?
Okay, this one I'm going to talk about it on 3 subheadings. We have the one that is individually based. That means the person that is being oppressed, the one that is their fault. Now we have the one that probably is because of the relationship, the type of person you are in relationship with. Probably you didn't take note of some of these things before getting married. Then there are some of the factors that are coming from the society. That means where you saw yourself, where you grew up, there are norms or things that people, there are type of mentalities that these people around that area have. So these are the things. Now, number one, when someone have low level of exposure, we can also say low level of education. Now, when you go out and you get educated, so many things are being learned while we go to school. So that exposure is what will help you to speak out or to stand up and speak for yourself when cases like this come up in your relationships. Okay, I'm going to give some example. While in school, so many programs are being organized both by religious bodies, non-governmental organizations, even the school, some departments, and then so many organizations come to organize this. Now, going to these programs, you're going to learn a whole lot. Now, having this exposure will help you to know that there are certain things that are not supposed to be done to you in a relationship. So low level of exposure or education is one of the risk factors. Now, exposure to violence by parents. When you are growing up, you see your dad beating your mom, or you see your mom beating your dad. Sorry, I'm using mom and dad, but I think it's something that we'll understand easily. So if you grow up in that kind of family, now you already have this mentality and this mindset that a man is supposed to hit a lady and it's normal. Probably you don't see it elsewhere, but when you are growing up, you just stay and you see your dad talking to your mom, slapping her, and all of that. So exposure to violence between parents at early stages of life is one of the things that we place the person at risk of being coming down to it. Because if you have that mindset that the man is supposed to hit a lady, if you get into your own relationship and your own partner is abusing you physically that way, then you think it's normal. Then at some other time, you have this feeling that a woman is supposed to accept violence. Like I said at the beginning, that in some settings, some ladies do accept, like they will even say to their mouth that if your husband does not beat you, it means that there's no love or there's no, like people are not in real business. So you accepting that violence from that person and feeling that the man is supposed to be their partner. Having that mindset is already placing you at risk. So if it's been done to you, you won't have any problem. So now also having sexual abuse when you are growing up, probably you're living with your uncles or someone is abusing you while you're growing up and threatening that any day you speak up, they will kill you. So all those things will have their place in your brain and in your head and in your mindset. So growing up with that, you're already accepting the fact that all of these are okay. So I have to stop there. Then people that use drugs, that's another thing. Then in relationships, so one of the risk factors that comes in relationship is when you have male dominance. I've already talked about this. That means the male is meant to dominate. You don't speak when your husband is speaking, even when you're trying to correct him. You don't utter a word. You don't oppose whatever your husband says. Anything he says stands, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it doesn't tilt towards the right direction. So when you have a case or in a relationship where there is male dominance, of course, it can even be female. The female can be the one dominating the relationship, taking control of everything. Whatever she says goes. So wherever the dominance is sitting towards, where there is this dominance, is one of the contributing factors. Now we also have disparity in education attained. You have someone that did his or her PhD, and then you have someone that just finished primary education. Most of the time, there's that's a risk factor because the level of exposure for the one that have low educational level will not be the same with the one that probably went outside for the masters or PhD. So disparity in these educational levels attained is one of the factors. Now, for men that have multiple partners, that's another thing that comes in here because the man will say, I can control 7 women and nothing happens. Whatever I say, they do. So that's another reason. So you going into that relationship, you're already placing yourself at risk of being abused in your relationship. So quickly, we're going to look at the community or the social norms that will place people at risk of being abused in their intimate relationship. Number one is where we have gender inequality. Of course, we are not saying that women should not respect their men or the women should claim to be 50-50 equal. I was reading a book that said that in a relationship, the male factor and the female factor should bring in 100%. Because they were asking, should we do 50-50, 60-40, 70-30? Some people were answering whatever they like. Now the speaker have to say that the both parties should bring in 100%. So we're not saying anybody should be, but there are society whereby the women don't have any say where the men are. So if you have that gender inequalitable social norms, you have a problem. Now you have cases of poverty. Of course, poverty will place or will make someone to have low self-esteem. You don't speak where you're supposed to speak, and then you don't say even when they are standing on your right. So poverty is one of the big problems that makes people to be at risk. Now, getting married to someone that is wealthy, of course, you're already going to be doing whatever they say, though depending on the understanding of your partner. But being poor and getting married to probably someone that is rich, that means you have to do whatever they say. It will now place you at risk of being violated. Then we have a low social and economic status of women. There are societies where women don't matter. So it's just men, anything, men, men, men. So, and then where if a woman is being abused and she tries to speak up, nobody comes in to support them or to even say anything in their favor. That's another thing that can affect them. So we have cases where a partner uses arm. You know that your boyfriend or your husband have gone. So they will threaten you and say, any day I want to have sex with you and you say no, I'm going to shoot you dead. So something like that. So you have societies where they accept it that men should beat women. You might be wondering where, but it's existing. We did some research and found out that there are places where women have to be beaten by men, and sometimes vice versa. So these are the risk factors. So with just these few ones, I have so many to say, but I don't really know how much time I have. But I think I have to just stop here. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you so much, sir, for that. Yes, thank you. David, you really went really extensive with that. So you have answered most of our questions.
Yeah.
I have a last question now before we let you go for tonight. Our last question is, are there social norms and beliefs in Nigeria and other countries that perpetuate violence against women and girls? You are saying something in that line. We'd like to just buttress it a bit. Any social norms or beliefs, right, that empower this kind of abuse on women and girls?
Okay. Mention of some of the things. Okay, just to buttress it a little bit, we have societies where it's generally accepted that the females or the girls are meant to serve the men. That means if a man comes to marry you, you don't have any say. You just have to follow. And whatever he says at home, you do. That will now make the man, if they want to have multiple partners, the woman will not even have anything to say, because it's already placed that women don't have any say. So there are places that is accepted. So it's one of the social norms that the women are the inferior gender here, that they are supposed to always be under the male. Now, there are societies that doesn't recognize women probably to be in powers. That means the local government chairman, the governors, the deputy governors, even the president, that a woman cannot occupy these positions. So if you have a case like that, then it's invariably telling us that the women are the one to be oppressed here. They don't have any say. But you compare it to a society where a man is contesting for governor, you have a woman contesting, and at the end of the day, woman will even win. So in that kind of, we have a balanced system. So if you want to abuse a woman at home in that particular type of setting, the woman can say, if a woman can be a governor, then I can't be treated this way in my house. So if it's generally accepted in the particular locality or setting, then it's one of the norms in that place. That means it's the belief they have that the woman is supposed to be violated. And of course, we've mentioned poverty. So where the majority of the village dwellers or the people living in that setting is poor, if anyone manages to be rich, then it's of course going to have command or authority over the rest. We have cases where ladies are married to men that they don't have any feelings for, or like they are not, that is not their original intention to get married to. So these are just the few societal beliefs or norms that I think contributes to the violence being perpetrated to women and girls. And of course, if it continues this way, whereby there's a general belief, that's what I was saying when I was talking about how we can, or approaches we can take. There are places you have to tell them that women and men can actually have equal rights, though the woman will respect the man as the head of the family. But it doesn't really mean that the man should inflict punishments of violence on the woman just because he is the man figure there. So having that mindset that the male factor says, and that's all, is not a nice one. So much have been said, but we'll have to stop at this point. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Famuguna. We are very, very grateful for that. Yes, with that, we will take our questions now. Even as we come to the end, we have really had a lot of information poured out today, and to take some time to digest and go through it. Thank you for all the aspects and angles you brought it from, both from the perspective of the man and that of the woman. I'm sure we learned a lot. All right, now, I don't know if we have any questions for our speaker. Either way, our time is fast spent and we'd have to round up for today. But for our viewers on YouTube and Facebook, do well to drop your questions and we'll definitely get around to answering those questions. Also, if you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, we'd also like to drop it in the comment section and we'll take note of it and definitely get opportunity to speak about it. Thank you so much, fam. We are grateful for your time. and for making this wonderful contribution to Belle by Choice today. And still in the spirit of our 10,000 Men Give Belle by Choice, not by chance initiative, we are excited that this topic has come forth to give more insight or light. The fact that men have a big role to play, and Famabonia just played it by sharing this knowledge with us. I'm sure we all learned a lot. Thank you so much, sir. And we look forward to having you another time on our call. We are really grateful for that. Yes, thank you. Okay, now as we round up for today, we would like to announce to everybody our call lines here at Belle by Choice. If you're a woman with unmet sexual reproductive needs, we have health experts that would love to reach out to you and talk to you all for free, You can reach out to them on WhatsApp or give them a call or send a text, and you definitely get a very quick response. We have 07048065486 or 07048065450. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to answer your questions. Do well to reach out to us. Also, we have walk-in centers all across Calabar where you can reach out to our health experts and they would give you information in case you want to meet one-on-one. Do well to walk in and you will have the attention that you need. Thank you all so much for coming on our show tonight. We are really grateful and we look forward to having you here again next week, Thursday. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, we love volunteers. If you want to volunteer to work with African Girl Empowerment Network, especially Belle by Choice, do us to go to our website and just click on the volunteer button, put in your details, and we'll definitely reach out to you. Thank you so much. Another big shout out to all our sponsors making this work happen and move smoothly every single week. Thank you all so much. See you. Thank you so much, fam. Good night. Good night, Martina. Good night, Esther. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much and have a nice night.
All right, fam.
Yes, have a nice night.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.